We have been looking forward to this day for quite a while. We finally have the opportunity to install our new 460 amp hour lithium batteries and test them out on our Hatteras motor yacht.
One look in your eyes and I find it. When you leave in my mind I rewind it. When you got it this good, you don't fight it.
Now that I have the battery covers off, let me show you our existing system. In the back there you see 4 8 golf cart batteries. That's our starting bank for the port side engine. In front of it here are 2 lithium batteries that I installed, I guess it was 2 years ago perhaps. And then on the other side, in the back there, is another starting bank, but it also acts as the house bank for our 32 volt systems. And in front here are 2 old lithium batteries that were reclaimed from medical equipment. And I purchased them, it was probably 5 years ago at least. And at the time, lithium batteries were very expensive. So I got these reclaimed for about 1/3 the price as they would have been new. By today's standards, these are antiquated. They don't even have a BMS system in them. Now on the wall here, I have my Victron inverter. It's a multi-plus 3000 watt, 24 volts. And below it you can see I have the bus bars. I also have a switch to turn to kill the power to everything. I have a solar charge controller. Now this charge controller I have hooked up to the alternator on our port engine. And that enables me to take the power coming off of that alternator and divert some of it to the lithium batteries. Now over here you can see I have a Servo GX that I use for communications with the inverter. And there's another bus bar there that's covered in plastic. That is a 24 volt bus bar that I'm using currently for breakers for the new heads that I'm putting in, because I'm putting in 24 volt Raritan heads, and the old ones that I'm removing are 32 volt, which were hooked up to that bank over there. And back here is a charger that is just dedicated to the 12 volt that we use to start the generator. Now my plan is to take these 2 lithium batteries and move them over to the other side where the green ones are. I may remove the green ones entirely, I'm not sure yet. Now in this box I'm going to put the new lithiums that we got. They should fit perfectly, at least I hope they do. And we're going to use that as the main lithium source for the inverter. Now I am going to take the old system and I'm going to use this switch here that enables me to either turn the system off, go to branch 1 or branch 2, and that way I can have my old system still connected, but it won't be connected directly with my new lithium batteries. That way I don't have to worry about some sort of an imbalance between the 2 systems, and it'll still enable me to just get extra power. If the new lithium should be running low, I could just turn a dial and go back to my old system. That's the plan. One other thing, this bank that I have in the back here, that's a starting/house bank for the 32 volt systems. That's the battery bank that died on me shortly after leaving Titusville this past season. And I couldn't get it to work the whole time we were gone. I just relied on the other bank. Now, I'm not sure if it's just one bad shorted battery or what, but I think what I'm going to do, just to be ready for this coming season, is I'm just going to pull all 4 of them out and replace them with new batteries. Now before I start disconnecting things, I'm going to run a test on our current lithium battery system. I have a rough idea how this is going to work out because we've been using it for several years, but I'm going to turn off all the dock power and just run off the lithiums and the inverter and see how many hours we get during a normal course of our day. Now this is not very scientific because I don't know how many times Lynn's going to make coffee or whether she's going to turn the oven on or anything, but this will give me a ballpark figure of where we're going to be. And right now, let's see here. Let me just take a look at my... Yes, so right now, I think you guys can see this. We are at 100% charge on the current lithium batteries. And I'm going to switch over and we'll see how long this lasts. Okay, so I have everything switched over to the inverter that runs off 110 volts. I turned off all of the 220 volts because that's just not really a fair test. That's not why I have the inverter, and I'm not trying to get it to run the air conditioners and the hot water heater. However, I might run a test on that later just to see how long the new system will work. Okay, right now, according to my phone, we are pulling 448 watts, and we are down to 99% power. This says we should have 8 hours remaining, but that's going to vary. You know, once one of the refrigerators kicks on, we usually see something like 700-800 watts normally being drawn.
Tricky Dicky.
I appreciate it. I would have been hard by myself.
Thank you. Yeah, they weigh as much as me. Wink, wink.
Yeah, they're like, I don't know, 95 pounds, something like that. They're not super heavy, but compared to regular 8D batteries, which are like 180 pounds, these are okay.
You're really psyched getting them in, huh?
Yeah.
They're beautiful. They're epic.
There's an issue. They're not the same size as 8Ds. I can't fit two here.
No?
Nope.
You have an extra box?
Nope.
Okay.
Well, what I thought was going to be pretty easy, just putting the batteries into the battery box, has turned into a big hassle. Apparently there is more than one size 8D battery, and I didn't know that. Apparently the 12 volt 8D batteries are bigger than the 8 volt 8D batteries, and the bottom line is this: the new batteries will not fit in the battery box. I can't put two of them side by side. I'm about 2 inches too narrow. So I have to remove the battery boxes, and I'm going to strap the batteries down and build my own little thing to contain them. That's not a big deal, except that Hatteras glued the existing battery boxes to the floor. So I have to cut these damn things out. So it's going to be a little bit of a pain in the neck. I'm going to cut them out. Then I'm going to put the batteries in. I'm going to probably strap them to the floor, and maybe I'll build a little wall around them too. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do yet. But first step is getting this whole battery box out. Okay, well, I have the batteries in now. It turned out I only had to cut the one side of the battery box off. As you can see down here, my batteries are about 1.5 inches bigger than my box. And so I'm contained on 3 sides, and then I'm going to go ahead and put a bracket down there where they put the little bolt holes on the sides of these batteries, which is very convenient. So I'm going to lock it down on this side with brackets and let the other 3 sides of the battery box do their job. So everything's it's looking good. I moved the other batteries, the other old lithiums, over to the other side there, and I have them all hooked up. And I think what I'm going to do before I do anything else is I'm going to check the balance on these 2 batteries, because before I hook them up in series, I want to make sure that their voltages are exactly the same. That way, they are going to be charging evenly. So that's the next step. I opened up the Epoch app to check the battery status, and as you can see, both batteries are reading 13.2 volts, and one's reading 27%, one's reading 28%, and I'm going to say that that's as close as they need to be. So the plan now is I'm going to hook them up, I'm going to wire them, but I'm not going to connect them to the inverter yet. I'm going to check the specs first and then set up the inverter to match the manufacturer's requirements. And then once I have that done, they're only reading 26, 27%, so I'm going to have the inverter charge them up, and then I'll start running some tests. Okay, the installation is complete. As you can see, I have my new Epoch batteries over here in this modified battery box. I moved the other lithiums over there, and I put the lids back on. I did not get a chance to change out my regular house and starting bank. I'm going to do that next time I come to the boat. Running out of time. I got my battery box covered over there, and I'm going to eventually put the battery box on top of these lithiums, to the battery box cover, that is. I'm not going to do it right now because I'm not sure what settings I'm going to use yet, and I'll talk about that in just a second. But you can see I cleaned everything up a bit, and I mounted the servo and a little fuse box that I use for some 24 volt items to the side of the Victron inverter. Just got them off the floor, basically. And then I took a piece of acrylic and I covered up the bus bars. I just figured this would make it a little safer. That way no one can accidentally touch it or drop something on it. And I'm really happy with the way everything's turning out. It looks nice and clean, and it's working. Well, we'll see how it's working. It's working. I just got to run some tests and see how well it does. There are two different ways you can set up these batteries to interact with your Victron inverter. One is you can set it up for the Victron inverter takes control, and the other way you can set it up so that the Epoch batteries take control. And basically you are deciding, do I want the Victron to make decisions about charging, or do I want the batteries to tell the Victron how it wants to be charged? You can go either way. There's pros and cons on both. I'm currently running under the Victron takes control mode. So that means that I go into the Victron inverter itself with my laptop and I program it. I tell it what I want the maximum voltage to charge to be. I tell it what I want the float to be, how long the absorption time should be, things like that. Now, I could ignore that and go over to the Epoch battery takes control and let the battery itself make those decisions and tell the Victron. Now, there's pros and cons to both. In the Victron takes control mode where I'm at now, the pro is, to me, is that the Epoch app works perfectly. I can use the Epoch app to check each battery, each cell individually, and that all works great. The Victron Servo GX app that I use for the Victron shows only like there's one battery involved, and it's only 13 volts instead of the 26 volts. I'm not sure why that is, and vice versa. If I use the Epoch battery takes control, well, then the Epoch battery app only shows the master battery. It doesn't show the slave battery. Meanwhile, the Servo GX app now shows a single 26 volt battery instead of a 13 volt battery when I was doing it on the Victron takes control way. I know that sounds a little confusing. I'm going to put up a chart and you can look at it. Now, I don't know why the apps, both the Servo GX app and the Victron apps, act this way. I don't know, but I did talk to people over at Epoch Batteries, and they told me there's a new release coming out in, I think they said the first quarter of this coming year, and they're going to do some updates, and there's going to be some improvements in the app, so that should be cool. And they also told me they're coming out now with a 24 volt version of this battery, the 460 amp battery that I'm using, and also a 48 volt version. So that's cool. And if in the future, I guess you won't have to do the putting them in series to 12 volts in series to get the 24 like I'm doing. Although I'd probably do it anyway because these things are heavy enough at 90 pounds, whatever they are, for a 12 volt battery. So I don't know that I want to lift anything heavier than that. Here's an illustration of how we hooked up the Epoch batteries into our existing inverter system. The heart of the system is the Victron charger inverter. The inverter gets its power to charge the batteries from the service panel, which gets its power from either the generator or the shore power at the pedestal. In turn, it sends charging voltage to the bus bars. The Epoch batteries, as well as our existing batteries, are wired to the negative bus bar. However, the positive wires go through a switch that enables me to choose which battery bank I want to charge. When we switch to inverter mode, the system works in reverse. The batteries send power to the inverter through the bus bar. The inverter turns the DC voltage into 110 volt AC power, which is sent to the service panel to power the 110 systems on the boat. We also have solar panels on the boat, which send power to a solar charger and then onto the bus bar to charge the batteries. The solar charger converts whatever power that is coming from the solar panels to the correct amount to charge the batteries. We also have our port engine alternator hooked up to a bus bar to charge the batteries while underway. There's also a solar charger in between the alternator and the bus bar that controls the amount of current that can be drawn from the alternator. This is important because lithium batteries will draw everything they can get from the alternator and will quickly burn it out. Our solar charger will limit the draw from our 65 amp alternator to no more than 25 amps, leaving the rest to charge the house banks. We have several breakers and fuses installed between the components for protection, and so we can disconnect parts if necessary. We also have 2 gauges installed in the system. One that is connected through a shunt which monitors our original batteries. We also have a gauge that monitors the voltage drawn from the alternator. However, our main source for monitoring the system comes from the Serbo GX, which is hooked up to the Victron components as well as the Epoch batteries. The Serbo is connected to Wi-Fi on the boat so that we can monitor our lithium system from anywhere we have internet available. Here is a chart we found helpful. It shows the switch positions that need to be set on the Epoch batteries depending on how you plan to use them. In our case, our batteries are wired in series, with one battery set as a master and the other as a slave. So, what about the test? 5 o'clock last night, we disconnected from shore power and started running the boat just off the Epoch batteries. Now, it's not a scientific test. We're not, using gauges and meters to test how many amps are being drawn or anything like that. It's a real-world test where we wanted to see how long we could run our boat the way we normally live on our boat off these batteries. And that means running the under-the-counter refrigerator freezer. It means running our beverage refrigerator, our ice maker, our mini fridge up on the bridge. During this test, Lynn made 3 cups of coffee and 2 cups of tea. I ran the microwave once. There were a bunch of lights on, and we ran the radio almost the whole time. And that's a real-world experience for us when we're traveling on the boat or just hanging out on it. Now, if you recall from maybe the video that I did about a month or 2 ago, I had stated that my goal was to have about 16 hours of being able to run everything that I want to run on my boat while underway. So what happened? 10 o'clock this morning, the batteries went down to 5% and I discontinued the test. That means for 17 hours, the batteries ran everything that we like to run on this boat. Well, we are very pleased with how the new batteries are working out. What do you think of our inverter system? What do you have on your boat? Let us know in the comments.